The media is suggesting we sell our houses now. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. I had my morning stein of coffee and I thought we'd have a look at this news.com.au article because, well, it's telling you all to sell now, to jump in and sell your property. Now's the time. What do you think? What do you think is now the time to sell? If their predictions of properties falling, now 10%. If the market is being manipulated by the government stepping in and encouraging everyone to build. The government bribes to stimulate housing construction. Is there going to be less demand for existing dwellings? The fact that we still have JobKeeper, JobSeeker Plus. You've got trading without while insolvent, you're no longer liable for it at the moment as a director. Could all of these things, before they come to a head, mean you've got a limited opportunity, a limited window to sell your property? Or is it just the media trying to get more people to sell because agents are just having trouble getting stock? What do you think? What do you think? So strong demand for limited properties on the market is creating ideal auction conditions. Of course, it always goes back to auction conditions. And what I will draw to your attention, if you haven't seen it, on my blog website, says.heise.com.au. Here we've got an article written about fake auction clearance results, thanks to the team from Fresh Canvas who data mined it. Have a look. You can download the Excel so you can see the actual information. Whenever they talk about auction clearance rates, always be skeptical. There's always going to be a bias to a higher number than really exists, simply because real estate agents, as we all know and love, are gregarious, outspoken, if they're any good, positive people. Now, do you think it may be a bit of a dent to the ego to admit a failure? If you don't really have to, there's no real punishment for not doing it. If anything, by admitting you didn't push the auction, didn't get through, it will affect the auction clearance rates and hurt the market. So just have a look through that. Always be skeptical of them. I don't know the obsession with it. I understand the obsession with it from a seller's perspective, but most houses are not unique snowflakes that need to be auctioned, guys. Everything isn't special. Everything isn't special. That should just be a lesson for life. You're not special. Your house isn't special. Nothing's special. Deal with it. Maybe that's a bit too harsh these days. I need a shot of coffee. So fierce competition for property is bolstering Adelaide's auction market, despite fewer homes going under the hammer in the past 3 months because of the pandemic. Adelaide? Who cares? Auction numbers in Adelaide will be tiny. This is the thing. When I was looking at the auction clearance rates, I'd look at every week, and you'd see Tasmania's at 100% clearance. Wow! At this one auction. Let me know, guys. Auction's a big thing in Adelaide. In Queensland, they're not that big. Agents will try and push you for it. Try and get some buzz, some excitement. Latest CoreLogic figures show the number of properties that went to auction plummeted from 1,082 in June 2019 to 450 in the same period this year. So that's over a month. However, the clearance rates has remained fairly steady, dipping from 47% last year to 44.7% this year. Look at that. Not even half. Not even half. So if your house doesn't clear, correct me if I'm wrong here, do you get a refund from the auctioneer? The agent going out there doing his thing? Do you get a refund from that? All the costs associated with that? I somehow suspect you wouldn't. But let me know if I'm wrong. I'm sure these real estate agents in South Australia are extra generous. Real Estate Institute of South Australia President Brett Roenfeld said fierce competition was responsible for the success at auctions. How is a less than 50% clearance rate a success? That's a failing grade. That's a failing grade. That's a D. You failed. You want to get at least 75% plus. But then again, this is the I'll just bring up a chart just showing our education results here in Australia. Maybe that's why. But notice how this is being spun in a particular way, a particular angle. They're focusing on the auction race, the reduced supply. So now is the good time to sell. Do you think they'll mention, I've paused in this article, do you think they'll mention the predictions of property price falls? Do you think they'll mention the hit to existing property because more first home buyers are now being incentivized to build new? What do you reckon? What do you think? So basically, because there's an acute shortage of stock, there you go, supply shortage, buyers are competing strongly for the good quality stock that's available. And, well, you're going to have some people that haven't really felt the ramifications of this burgeoning recession. It's only just beginning, everyone. Their predictions, I did a video yesterday, someone on Yahoo Finance was talking about it, the shortest recession ever. Boom, down, up. Other people are saying that's going to be W-shaped. We'll go down, fallen, we'll go up a little bit, down again, up a little bit, down again. When people, when people getting into the market now, we've already got banks changing the ratios of how much you can borrow. Used to be 9 times your gross income. That's dropping down to 8. Make a big difference. But still, it shows you they're becoming less, well, they're trying to manage their risk. That's all banks do. They manage risk. Should have gotten into banking. But then again, I don't think I could handle the PC culture in those offices. I don't think I could do it. You have to wear a suit every day and pretend you give a crap about, some bastard having a birthday, a cake. That's one thing I hated working in an office, everyone, is... I was at the Architectural Practice Academy. I think it was like 14 of us or 12 of us. So every month it was another cake. And then they expect you to buy presents for these people. People who you wouldn't even see outside of the office. And it's not like this was a government program. So we were under the Department of Public Works, and they took 6 architects or 6 graduates every year, and they ran you through their program, and you worked on government jobs. You were meant to pretend you had an office. I remember I was the only one there worried that we were running out of work. No one else cared. And then it shut down, what, about a year and a half after I left? But what was interesting was this wasn't like a group of friends coming together. It wasn't just a business where you built it up over time. It was just a whole bunch of people who'd gotten on this government job, and they were buying like presents for the director. And he had a plush government job. It wasn't that he was getting paid a lot of money. He was taking care of a bunch of students. He had no personal liability, or hardly any, because he's in the government. And they were buying him like Xboxes and stuff. I couldn't understand it. I guess, that's the problem. That's the problem I have with these. You scratch my back, I scratch yours in these civil service environments. That's what I didn't quite appreciate, the value of the political ass-kissing that you have to do. But then again, once again, I've gone completely off topic here. Yes, that's why. What was I talking about again? It's early. That's why I couldn't. Potentially people losing their jobs because the recession's coming. You're going to get the safe civil servants who get their Xboxes from their staff and sucking up to each other to get promotions. But if the buyers start drying up because unemployment is creeping up, job security disappears, and then the JobKeeper bonus disappears, the increase to job seeker disappears, so you're having spending going down. More people are preparing, and that'll start flowing through the economy. So businesses that aren't actually feeling it at this moment, so people who think everything's fine, work's still coming in, may start to feel it in the future. So you may have less buyers then drying up. So this could be a window, a short opportunity. If you're looking to sell, to sell. Maybe now's the time. Before the banks start tapping people on the shoulder going, okay, we're giving you a 4-month extension on your mortgage. You need to sell. You need to get out. Before all the people who've been on mortgage holidays find that the economy isn't going to snap recover and start forced selling. Because remember, the value of your property, it's not how much you think it's worth. It's not how much you bought it for. Sorry, you're not that special. You don't have that much power. It's not even what the bank tells you it's worth. I have a look on my CommBank and it says, portfolio, we estimate your house is worth this. Do you want to borrow more money? And it's nowhere near that. I know that exactly because of property across the road. For sale side and it's gone. They were trying to sell it for 100K less than the bank values mine. And, frankly, it's probably I think we got a bit more land. We got a bit more land. And probably a bigger house. But still. So that tells you it's the last property in your street. And if we start seeing these forced foreclosures or people having to sell, or the geniuses that have got 6 investment properties, all negative geared, all paying interest only, suddenly forced to sell, what do you think that will do for the market? When will that be the time to sell? Is this the calm before the storm? But Florian property always goes up. A dude on Facebook told me. I'm sure he did. Last Saturday, I had 6 auctions booked and 2 sold before, under auction conditions. And we sold 4 out of 4 at auction. Wow! Well, that's great. That's great. Too bad the clearance rates aren't 100%. Mr. Owenfeld said the combination of strong demand and limited properties on the market made it a good time to sell. If any vendor was thinking about selling, I'd be doing it sooner rather than later. Sooner rather than later. Ray White SA, chief auctioneer, John Morris said vendors holding off on selling could be missing a golden opportunity. If you're not taking a property at auction at the moment, you're potentially leaving tens of thousands of dollars on the table, he said. So what are we reading between the lines here? They're not saying it's going to drop. Well, other agents are, aren't they? Mr. Morris said the shortage of stock meant some house hunters were turning up to auctions until they left with a property in their name. Yeah, sure. This is the thing, everyone. There's always going to be property for sale. It's not the end of the world. It's not going to run out. It's not going to run out. Houses aren't mysteriously going to disappear. Be patient. People aren't patient, aren't they? The FOMO is getting them. The fear of missing out is getting them. They're all excited about this free money from the government, this free handout here or there. So they're rushing out. Some of them are going to cop it, aren't they? Some people are going to end up in negative equity. It's going to be tough. But then again, that's how you learn. By making stupid mistakes sometimes. Welcome to life. Welcome to adulthood. If I'm selling something in the same area, they're rocking up at each auction. Adelaide's clearance rates, I can't believe we're talking about Adelaide, but still, they got to spin it in a particular way. Adelaide's clearance rates was higher in the March quarter when it reached 52.3% on 820 March quarter on 827 auctions, up on the 48.8% on 933 auctions during the same period in 2019. Australia's capital cities recorded a combined clearance rate of 47.9% in the June quarter compared to 55.5% in the same period of the previous year, which was based on 13,783 and 18,104 auctions respectively. And I would argue that these, while they indicate the trend, there's a bias to the positive of the number. And if you go through my article here that I've written, you can see, there's a range. If they've got here, an example was they had advertised clearance rate of 74%. The worst case of it could be down to 60, and the best case could be 75. There is a range in the data. It's not 100% accurate. Don't be tricked into thinking that. So that's something that isn't made clear in a lot of their data that they have here. So it could be what? It could be 7% lower, it could be 7% higher. There's a range. It depends on the reporting from the agents. CoreLogic research head Eliza Owen said the pandemic had made a big impact on the market over the past few months. Well, yeah, of course. The initial market response to the pandemic was a severe drop in sales and listings across both auction and private treaty sales methods, she said. Many vendors who do not have to sell were initially unwilling to take their property to market in a time of high uncertainty. This contributed to a fall in sales volumes of negative 32% over April. However, following this initial shock, transaction activity has steadily recovered as social distancing measures eased and consumer confidence levels experienced a strong recovery in May and June. So there you go. There you go, everyone. Now is the time to sell. Sell your house now. What do you think? What do you think? Spruiking to get people to sell? a last opportunity before the economy really takes a hit? Or are they just going to prop everything up as much as they can to keep housing the beloved child of Australia, the basis of our civilization? Crappy houses. Because honestly, most of them are, guys. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, it's phone, cheaply built. And that's all you need. But should we really be paying so much for them? As always, let me know your thoughts and opinions. Are you looking to sell on the market? Have you been holding off? Do you think the auction clearance rates are as good as the gospel and you can't dare question it? As always, thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. You can interact with the channel. That helps YouTube know people are enjoying the content and spreads the videos around. You can support us financially via joining the channel on YouTube or Patreon, using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or Kucoin, buying our merch from HeiseSays or the pocket squares you can get from the HeiseSays blog, using Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or supporting us via PayPal. Thanks everyone. I'll see you in the next video.